Back home in Nigeria, the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has reportedly detained investigative journalist Fisayo Soyombo. The Foundation for Investigative Journalism, FIJ, disclosed this via X this morning. According to the post, his arrest took place 3 days ago. The Nigerian Army has not reacted to the alleged detention. Fisayo Soyombo is known for his investigative reporting on high-profile issues such as corruption, abuse of power, and human rights violations. In November, the investigative journalist released more videos to establish his smuggling allegations involving officers of the Nigerian Customs Service. In a statement issued across the social media platforms, Soyombo had alleged that customs personnel had conspired with a smuggler to legally pass about 2,000 cars and smuggling bags of rice into the country. He said the illegal operation was slated to take place on Sunday, November 10, 2024. Meanwhile, Kaduna State Governor Ubasani on Thursday received the first set of repentant bandits and opened the cattle market, which had been closed for about 10 years due to insecurity. The governor also said his administration would be fair and just to all in order to achieve lasting peace and development. He added that through numerous meetings and extensive discussions, his administration has built breaches of trust as several senior bandit leaders had laid their arms and embraced peace along with their followers. According to him, the so-called repentant bandits are enrolled in a rehabilitation program designed by his government in partnership with the federal government. He noted that this program adheres to international standards of disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration, ensuring that these individuals can return to society as productive citizens. The governor warned that the rehabilitation of the repentant bandits was based on the principle of carrot and stick. In a recent development, Timothy Mbere, the secretary of the Alesa Community Stakeholders, has claimed that the petroleum products loaded from the recently revived Port Harcourt refinery were not newly refined but petrol products left in the storage tank of the facility in the last 3 years. Mbere disclosed this during his appearance as a guest on TV on Thursday, noting that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, told Nigerians many lies about the revived refinery. He also alleged that the refinery only loaded 6 trucks on Tuesday, despite reports that 200 trucks will pick up petrol from the refinery daily. The community leader further dismissed NNPCL's position that the Port Harcourt refinery operation commenced on Tuesday with 1.4 million barrels per day of crude processing. A witness for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, John Aditola, on Thursday revealed before the Lagos Special Offences Court in Ikeja how he delivered $400,000 to the former Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. Aditola, who served as an executive assistant to the ex-CBN Governor, testified before Justice Rahman Oshodi, shedding light on the transaction. During his testimony as the 7th prosecution witness, Adetola, led by EFCC prosecutor Rotimi Oyedepo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, disclosed that he was summoned from his new posting in Ekiti State. He elaborated on his role as Emefiele's executive assistant, detailing his responsibilities including managing office correspondence, attending to visitors and handling assignments from his boss. He explained that he joined the CBN in June 2014 after starting his career in 2007. He also mentioned that he had known Emefiele as the managing director of a commercial bank before transitioning to the CBN. In a tragic development, a boat accident occurred in the early hours of today along the Dambo-Ebuchi sections of River Niger, resulting in the loss of multiple lives. VOP News gathered that the boat, which belonged to one Musa Dangana, was carrying over 200 passengers, including market women and farm laborers, en route to the Kacha weekly market. The boat reportedly capsized, throwing all on board into the waters. Rescue efforts are currently underway, with local divers working to recover the bodies of the victims. 8 bodies have been recovered, while search and rescue operations continue to locate the remaining passengers. This comes barely a few months after a similar boat accident occurred on the Muwo-Gbajibo River in Mokwa local government area of Niger State on October 1, resulting in the loss of many lives. Preliminary reports indicate that none of the passengers were wearing life jackets at the time of the accident, which may have contributed to the high number of casualties. The authorities are yet to release an official statement on the incident, but an investigation is expected to be launched to determine the cause of the accident. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Now joining me to discuss issues on the news, I have political, social and national affairs analyst, Pastor Ola Emmanuel. Good afternoon and thank you for joining me, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Rita. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk about the arrest of and detainment of an investigative journalist. His name is Fisayo Soyombo, and he works with the Foundation for Investigative Journalism. In the past 2 months, Mr. Fisayo Soyombo has been consistently posting investigative reports about smuggling within the Nigerian customs, smuggling through the Seme border, the smuggling of rice and other things through the border. He was always tagging the Nigerian customs right there on X, formerly called Twitter. He would tag them, he would post videos. At some point, he even posted videos of people who alerted customs and they were being beaten up by certain louts for doing that. And one would be wondering, why exactly was he arrested by the Nigerian army? The Foundation for Investigative Journalism said he's been arrested for the past 3 days. And I want to read out what he posted that he was arrested for. Are you with me, Pastor Ola Emmanuel?
I'm with you.
All right, then. So I want to read out what he was reportedly arrested for. He said, "Good morning at Customs NG. Over the night, your men in Ogun State let in more than 3,000 cars containing smuggled rice from Owodiakpa and Seme into Badagry via Baji Bridge for onward transfer to Lagos. More than 3,000 cars. That is at least 9,750,000 kilograms of rice through the back door. Of what use then is the high-level meeting to combat smuggling convened by your CGC and attended by many of your senior officers just 4 days ago? The deceit has to stop." Now, just like he said, 4 days before he tweeted that, the Nigerian customs actually posted that they are reinforcing customs service by stopping smuggling, and they had a high-level meeting. So now, if a reporter, a journalist goes undercover, does his job, brings it to light, to the knowledge of people who should actually be working towards making sure that what he has shed light on, they conduct their own investigations and make sure that there are no lies, but instead he's arrested. Is that what the Nigerian state has turned into? Yesterday, a Take It Back movement coordinator in Kano was also arrested for something he posted on Facebook. Is that say we don't have freedom of speech anymore in Nigeria?
Oh, well, thank you so much, and the voice of Nigerian family, thank you for the great job. My privilege, it's my honor to be part of this discussion this afternoon. Like I always told you at this session, the Nigerian system of doing things is against the law. If the Nigerian constitution states categorically, the chapter 4 of the Nigerian constitution, section 39 states that Nigerians have the freedom, they are allowed the freedom of expression and press. Then if an investigative journalist carries out his constituted duty as a professional, there will not be any reason for him to be arrested. But like I keep saying, is when people go to buy a product legally, having paid for the product, and the owner or the distributor does not allow you to go with the product, there is a problem. Nigeria has been given the right to express themselves, freedom of information. It has been fine. But the every government, particularly the present one, do not give anybody the right to have access to information. So doing that is against the right of the person. And it's also an impediment to the right we have as enshrined by the Nigerian Constitution. Now, if somebody sees a wrong thing to say, and you say it becomes an offense, and the person who committed that offense is walking free on the streets of Nigeria, you see there's a problem with the administration. I told you the other time before that what we have in Nigeria is a dictatorial system of government. They do not have the right to express themselves. They only tell you what they want to hear. So what we are here saying, what we are hearing, what we are experiencing in Nigeria is selective interest of the things that benefit the people who are in the government system. It is wrong. It is contrary to the constitution of the Nigerian that we have a right to. And also, let me make it here open to all of us that apart from the Nigerian constitution, there is also what we call Freedom of Information Act 2011. It categorically gives Nigerians the right to make findings. Now, why arresting somebody who is giving the hopeless the right? Is it not a known fact that bringing in foreign rights into Nigeria is a crime? Then if the custom...
So doing investigative journalism in Nigeria is a crime, Pastor Ola Emmanuel?
Yeah. So doing it is not a crime, so to say, but it is a crime to the power that be. They do not have the respect for the Nigerian constitution. Because that is the supreme book that guides our operational modus as a national. But doing it, it means that you have the right to do it, but you cannot practice it. And that's the reason why you can see in too many times from 2013 till now, you see somebody said, I am behind the Boko Haram operations. I'm behind this, I am behind that. And that person is walking, driving on the streets of Nigeria. And somebody who said this kind of act committed by the Boko Haram, they say that person has committed a treasonable offense.
You know, when you bring this to the issue of insecurity in the country, there is also that, right? Because the governor of Kaduna State has just pardoned some repentant bandits who have been terrorizing Kaduna State residents. So have we come to that situation in Nigeria where we are arresting journalists and pardoning bandits? And also, when you look at this, he would say he reportedly tweeted, I used finger quotation marks around the world against the Nigerian custom. So why was he arrested by the army and detained for 3 days with the army has not said anything up till now? If his organization, the Foundation for Investigative Journalism, did not come out to say, oh, Fisayo is missing, nobody would know where he is. Yeah. Even the Take It Back movement coordinator in Kano State who was arrested yesterday, nobody knows where they are. I think it was sometime last month or 2 months ago, a journalist was arrested. She works for one of those papers. She was arrested by the DSS and nobody knew where she was for days. And we could go on and cite several different examples. Would we say that there is a brazen or disguised war against freedom of speech, war against the media, war against freedom of the press? Is that what is really happening? Should we be scared of coming out to hold the government accountable? Because you would think that the customs will be happy that their job has been done for them. 3,000 cars smuggling about 9.7 million bags of rice when Nigerians are facing the worst food insecurity. Is that really what should be happening?
The answer is no. That is not what's supposed to be happening. Remember, I said some time ago, while I was there, I said that Nigerians are not civilized. And I think one of your colleagues was saying, no, Pastor, this is very bogus. I think the reason is that you can still be educated and be behaving so illiterate. I've been taught last week and I quote. They say the illiterate of the 21st century shall not be those who cannot read or write, or those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So what we do in Nigeria is the thing that we do not want to let go of whatever our individual persons wants to do. So, getting to arrest this, the bad aspect of this is that they are even using the national security to perpetrate the evil. So I think one thing that I'm saying is that one of the best ways to commit crime in Nigeria is to join the forces of the management of the Nigerian system. Then they help you to commit a crime. Because there's no reason for the Nigerian army or whatever to be involved in such kind of uncivilized action.
And you would not expect that the army would do that on their own without others.
They are too big an organization or a sect for their names to be mentioned. If truly army is involved, then it means that there is no hope for a common man in Nigeria. That is what I'm going to tell you. There is no hope for a common man in Nigeria.
So when you come out and hold the government accountable, you should expect to be picked up anytime without your family members being notified about it.
I said this long, I think, in October. In October, I said it on air, and I said that even whatever I am saying now, there's a possibility that before I get downstairs that police or security agent will be there to ask me, "Okay, why did you say?" And I say so without fear or favor, because these governments do not want anybody to question their inadequacy. They do things with reckless abandon, and they feel they are under immunity that you cannot question them. Why would somebody be doing something wrong and you still have the right to still parade yourself and say, "I can go free and nothing will happen"? And that's the reason why I say we are not civilized. Not just when you commit a wrong thing, you should be ashamed of yourself. But today, now, our Nigerian politicians commit blunders, commit atrocities, commit any kind of thing you can call it, and they'll still walk straight and keep telling you that nothing can happen to me. So it's a pathetic thing that we are until we return back to where we miss it. And where we Nigeria miss it in our government administrations is putting rogues in the positions of authority and allowing the civilized persons not to have a chance. So it's a pathetic thing.
While we're talking about this, right, in Kaduna State, Governor Ubasani has just pardoned repentant bandits who have been terrorizing Kaduna communities. He's saying this is actually following the principles, is following international standards of disarmament, demobilization, reintegration. We want them to be better members of the society. And so we use the carrot and stick approach to rehabilitate them and reintegrate them into the society. I want you to know that, I want you to recall that this is not the first time that this is happening, right? If you recall, I think it was in 2021, former President Muhammad Buhari, going against the promise that he had made when he was running for president in 2015, actually pardoned more than 1,000 Boko Haram terrorists within the span of 3 years. Also in 2020, he pardoned about 100. So there are precedents to this. And the governor will say, of course, other people have done it. And that's why I'm doing this now. We have a country that would arrest people who are shedding the light on evil and then catch those people who are perpetrating this evil, pardon them, reintegrate them into society for them to now live amongst the people whom they have been terrorizing.
Such experience further proves the fact, Richard, that we are not doing what is right. We are doing what we want in the administration statute. You cannot pardon an evil man and still reintegrate him into the society. You understand what I'm saying? It is the wrong thing to do. It is completely uncivilized to have the Boko Harams or the terrorists reincorporated into the system, because why these persons did this thing, I must tell you this thing. They are under a superior power that says if you don't do this, this will happen. And that's the reason why this continues to happen. So how long are we continuing to be doing the wrong thing and expect a different result? It's a wrong thing to do, and it's not acceptable. Now, all these persons that are doing these things now, what happened to the innocent person that have been in incarceration? There are quite a number of people who are in cells, in the police cells, in the recreational cells, rehabilitation cells, that did no crime, but they were wrongly arrested. And you didn't go to the prisons to remove these persons and make them a better person, but somebody who has caused a whole lot of havoc, caused killings, devastation, economic and everything got stormed, and yet you say you put them. It means that Nigeria is not safe with this current system of administration. As long as that is what we're applying, it means that Nigerians are not safe. Criminalities and criminal activities cannot stop with such things, because somebody will tell you, go and commit crime and get linked to one of the governors and you'll be pardoned. It's a wrong thing to do.
And so then, knowing fully well that the Nigerian army cannot move without others from above, right? Without others from a higher power. How then can we actually just call our government, call our security agencies to order? They would always say it, oh, we're not doing this on our own orders. We're asked to go ahead and do this, right? How can we speak? How can we let our government know when we are displeased with their policies, with administrations? If right now they're putting fear in Nigerians that, oh, if they can arrest this person that is even this popular, knowing very well that there will be a hue and outcry. What about people who are not known? What about people who are being critical of the government through social media, where they can actually express their views on governance and the political administration in their states and in the country? What happens to freedom of speech? What happens to freedom of expression? What happens to the fact that you actually have the freedom to seek information and bring out this information for consumption of the general public, bring it to the attention of security agencies for them to work on that? It's almost as if it is a crime to shed the light and on corruption in this country.
You see, the gap between the ideal and reality in Nigeria is very wide. The ideal thing is that you have a right to information. You have a right to express your opinion. You have a right to press. You have the right to question who is doing something that is wrong. But the ideal thing is that. But the reality is that the government administrations that do not allow it. There are groups of people who gather together with the wrong orientations on what it means to manage the masses. So that is just the gap. But the thing is this: when you are operating under law and order, that you do not have regard for the rule of law, it is the masses that actually suffer. And that's what the status quo that we're in. So if you would ask me that the freedom of speech is an abstract, is an illusionary statement, it is not practical. But if as it is like this now, what we're going to be looking at is as long as this is existing and it continues to happen and we are over and over, if there is anything I would suggest is for the Nigerian journalism to report to the international community of what is happening there. But the case is
do you think anything will come out of that? Do you think anything will come out of that? When the NSAS protest happens, a lot of Nigerians were tweeting to these international communities to lend their voices, sanction anyone who has been perceived to have committed crimes against the Nigerian masses, and yet nothing happened. So even if the Nigerian journalist community continues to reach out to international communities, even if it is the International Criminal Court, do you think anything will happen? Anything will come out of it?
There is an adage in my place that says that when a hawk picks a chicken, a baby chicken, the baby chicken begins to cry. It begins to yearn, it begins to cry, it begins to wail. He said the essence of the chicken crying is not necessarily for the hawk to leave it, but it's for the entire world and the society to know that I have been taken by the hawk. I may not return. And it's on record that for a so time that the hawk has picked up a chicken. Suffice to mean that we should not conclude that the international community of journalism may not be able to say something, but it should be on record so that when things happen, we can make reference to it. Because if you don't say it, the possibility to say that, but when things happen like that, why did you bring it into the international body? But let it be known to you, Rita, that there is, no matter how strong and smart a lead is, it cannot outswim a fish in the river, which means that no matter how strong the journalist community, the journalism professions, the social media, whatever, we are that because we have a wrong system that is being run, even when the international community comes, they will not be able to achieve it. But it shall be on record that the people have cried of certain things that are happening in our environment that is not good. So they can go ahead and do that. Two, the Nigerian Board of Journalism, I don't know what association is called.
Yes, we have the Nigerian Union of Journalists.
Yes, the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Yes, thank you. The Nigerian Union of Journalists should also fight for the investigative. I didn't remember the name of that something investigation, the one that they have arrested this thing.
Yeah, the Foundation of Investigative Journalism, and this is even the second journalist that has been arrested from this same organization this year. The last time a journalist was arrested from this organization, he was held for about a week before the police even came out to say, okay, we have him, after his friends and family and colleagues came out and raised alarm.
So that is still a pointer to you that the power that you do not want to be questioned. But let them also stand up on behalf of this Foundation for Investigative Journalism. As a matter of fact, there is a write-up I've read from this SIJ that these people are working and standing up to their responsibility. And after that publication I read, there was an order I was made to understand that called that man to withdraw that publication from their page. So you can see that somebody is doing a wrong thing, taking what belongs to another person forcefully, and you are telling the person you shouldn't take it to the public. That is oppression. And that's what Nigerians are suffering. It's not only in that investigation or whatever. There are too many things. The common man do not have the right to anything. But it's pathetic. And we cannot continue that. Let's keep saying it. And that's why I celebrate this voice of the people who is giving the common man the access to the right information. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Pastor.
Keep saying it. And as everybody is doing their part, I am too sure that it gets to a point that the truth we represent will be.
And we hope that that time comes very soon. Thank you so much, Pastor Ola Emmanuel, for joining me on the World News at 12 this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you and have an amazing day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You have been listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard the Senegal president has told France to close military bases in the country. Nigerian army detained investigative journalist Fisayo Soyombo. Governor Sani pardoned repentant bandits terrorizing Kaduna resident. Port Harcourt refinery host community leader claims NNPCL lied to Nigerians. An 8 confirmed dead and others missing as boat capsizes in Niger State. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. For coverage of your live event and brand news mentioned in our news bulletins, do send a mail to news@voiceofthepeople.ng. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. Coming up shortly is Alaji Action with